The new urban superhero action film Samaritan, directed by Bragi F. Schutt and Julius Avery. Sylvester Stallone, Dasha Polanco, Javan Wana Walton, and Pilu Asbek stars in the film. This grim story had a promising beginning, but the pace abruptly stops and never picks up. Although there is a good balance of excellent actors in the cast, the script's restrictions limit them. Samaritan is a monotonous endeavor that is very much a been there, done that, especially for Stallone, when it is reduced to its bare essentials. Before I start, please subscribe to my channel Teleflix and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Major spoilers ahead if you have not watched Samaritan yet. The movie takes place in the made-up Granite City, which was previously home to the superhero Samaritan. Years after the supposed death of the hero, however, a young kid by the name of Sam embarks on a search for Samaritan as the city implodes due to oppression, crime, and economic turmoil. The film's ending will leave viewers perplexed since it blurs the distinctions between good and evil. So, if you're looking for details on Samaritan's ending, look no further. Samaritan, the heroic good-hearted character, and Nemesis, the villainous twin brother who is out to destroy the city, are introduced in the opening scene of Samaritan. Residents set fire to the brothers' home after the brothers' abilities damage the city. The twins engaged in a dramatic struggle after their parents perished in the fire. Nemesis created a hammer that was potent enough to hurt his nearly unbreakable brother. Nemesis was ultimately defeated, and Samaritan was said to have died defending the city. Granite City is infested with crime nearly 25 years after the death of the superhero. Sam, a little boy who lives in an apartment building with his single mother, frequently gets into trouble. In Sam's opinion, Samaritan, whom Sam idolizes, is still alive. Sam earns additional money in his spare time by robbing stores and dumpster diving. Cyrus and his crew, a local thug, are alerted by Sam's behavior. Reza, Cyrus's henchman, on the other hand, abuses Sam. Sam encounters Joe Smith, a handyman who fixes damaged things for cash. Joe steps in to defend Sam when Reza and his goons attack the child. Sam is certain that Joe is the fabled Samaritan when he exhibits an eerie strength in the struggle. Joe, however, rejects the notion and tells Sam to keep his distance. Sam convinces Joe to become his friend, and the two develop a close relationship over time. Although Joe acknowledges being a good Samaritan, he believes that his days of combating crime are over. Cyrus and his crew also get their hands on a shipment of blackout bombs. The group finds Nemesis's hammer and mask, which were lost in the fire years before, after using the bombs to steal weaponry. Cyrus puts on the disguise and takes on the persona of Nemesis. He incites a revolt among the oppressed and disgruntled working-class residents of the city. Everyone worries if the Good Samaritan will return since the town is under threat by the wicked Nemesis. Before attempting to save the city, Joe must confront his history, though. After fighting Nemesis in the power plant, Samaritan fled into hiding, as the movie makes clear. Cyrus later comes across Nemesis's hammer and mask and sets out on an anarchist escapade. Nemesis's plot to destroy the city's power plant is what Cyrus wants to finish. As a result, the city would be in complete disarray, and Cyrus would guide them into a new era of global governance. Cyrus comes to the realization that he is the legendary hero of the past after a struggle with Joe. Cyrus kidnaps the kid knowing about Sam's relationship with Joe in an effort to entice the former superhero. Joe is hesitant to get back to battling criminals because of how his fight with his brother turned out. After finding out that Sam has been abducted by Cyrus, Joe travels to the plant to face Cyrus. A battle breaks out between Joe and Cyrus's goons. After defeating the conspirators, Joe gets ready to face Cyrus. Joe, however, is defeated by Cyrus after he wields Nemesis's hammer. Joe's downfall will come as a result of Cyrus's teasing over his image as a good guy. Joe finally gives in and admits the truth about that crucial night many years ago. Flashbacks show that during his battle with Nemesis, Joe was on the verge of dying by slipping into the fire. But the Samaritan cared for his brother and saved him. The kind deed, though, costs the Samaritan his life. As a result, Joe, rather than Samaritan, the superhero brother, is Nemesis, the bad brother. The main antagonist of the movie, Cyrus, is a follower of Nemesis. Cyrus confesses to Sam that as a youngster, the supervillain had an impact on him, and he aspired to be like his hero. Cyrus has fully undergone a supervillain transformation once he finds Nemesis's hammer and mask. The entire city is in danger due to his evil scheme, and Joe is the only one who can defeat Cyrus. Joe must come to terms with the loss of his brother while they are engaged in their pivotal struggle because of the flood of flashbacks from his past. Despite their disagreements and arguments, both brothers wished to do good. However, Nemesis became lost and chose a riskier course. However, Joe has an opportunity to make amends for his previous faults during his fight with Cyrus. After he fights Cyrus and prevents the villain from carrying out the wicked scheme Joe had devised years earlier, he begins to change into a hero. In the end, Joe manages to kill Cyrus and save Sam's life. Before the fire engulfs them, the pair safely leaves the plant. While Joe vanishes into the night, Sam gets to see his mother again. In the end, Joe saves the city, but when the police arrive, he stealthily leaves the area. Journalists approach Sam and interrogate him about the enigmatic person who rescued the city and him. Sam gets the opportunity to expose Joe's true identity and history as Nemesis, but he decides against doing so. Sam states in his interview that the Good Samaritan is still alive and is watching over the citizens while residing among them. Joe repeats the same as he looks at Sam from within the crowd before leaving for the evening. The ending suggests that Joe, following his experiences with Sam, will try to step into the role of Samaritan and return to battling crime. Joe had already told Sam that Nemesis wasn't a bad guy and that his tactics were necessary at the time. Only those who needed a wake-up call and were attempting to save the populace in his own way were hurt by him. Further reinforcing the notion that morality is arbitrary, Joe tells Sam, before leaving the room, that both good and evil can exist in the same person. In the end, Joe learns from his meetings with Sam that he still has time to make apologies with the past and make a contribution to society. As Sam is the reason Joe gets a second opportunity at being a hero in the public view, Joe mending Sam's watch represents the same thing. As a result, the conclusion seems to imply that Joe is prepared to carry on his brother's legacy by becoming the superhero Samaritan. As a result, the movie finishes on a thrilling note by giving Joe catharsis for his own deeds and giving him hope for the future and a second opportunity at being a hero.